We threw a gender reveal party. When we announced it's a girl, my mother-in-law gasped and said, "I already bought all boy stuff." Then she pulled out a box full of baby blue clothes, a football, and a bib that said Grandma's Little Quarterback. She refused to return any of it. My name's Sarah, a 32-year-old nurse from Austin, Texas. My husband, Mike, is a high school teacher. We've been married for 5 years and were overjoyed to find out we were expecting our first child. From the moment we announced the pregnancy, my mother-in-law, Barbara, was ecstatic. She immediately started shopping for baby clothes, toys, and nursery decorations. The only issue? She was convinced we were having a boy. We decided to have a gender reveal party at our home. Close friends and family gathered in our backyard, eagerly awaiting the big announcement. We had a cake made, and when we cut into it, pink frosting spilled out. "It's a girl!" we exclaimed. Gasps and cheers filled the air, but then Barbara's face turned pale. She stood up, reached into a bag, and pulled out a box. Inside were baby blue clothes, a football, and a bib that read Grandma's Little Quarterback. "I already bought all boy stuff," she said, visibly upset. I was so sure it was a boy. We tried to reassure her, but she was inconsolable. She refused to return any of the items, insisting that we might have another child, and it could be a boy. In the weeks that followed, Barbara's behavior became increasingly erratic. She continued to buy boy-themed items and even suggested we get a second opinion on the baby's gender. We tried to set boundaries, but she accused us of excluding her. Eventually, we had to make a difficult decision. We limited contact with her, focusing on preparing for our daughter's arrival. It wasn't easy, but we knew we had to prioritize our family's well-being. So, after we told Barbara we were having a girl, she didn't take it well. At first, we thought she was just being dramatic. Hormones, excitement, whatever. But she didn't let it go. Not even a little. She called the next day, said she thought the ultrasound tech looked unsure, asked if we were really sure it was a girl. I said yes. She asked if we were willing to get a 3D scan, just to make sure. I told her we weren't doing that. She was quiet for a second. Then she said, "Well, I'm just going to keep buying boy things." In my heart, I know it's a boy. I laughed a little, nervously. "Barbara, it's not." She hung up on me. Packages started showing up at our house. Not one or two. Like every week. All blue. Tiny little onesies with baseballs and footballs. Baby shoes. A blue stroller. A blue car seat. One even had a note that said, "For my little man." At first, Mike tried to talk to her. He called, calmly explained that we appreciated the gifts, but we were having a girl. She said, "I don't believe it until I see it." Then she started crying on the phone. Full sobbing. Said we were taking her grandson away from her. Mike got off the call and looked exhausted. "She's not okay," he said. "This is turning into something else." I was about 7 months pregnant when we got a call from our neighbor, Susan. She's an older woman, very sweet, lives across the street. She told us she saw Barbara in our backyard. I froze. "What do you mean in our backyard?" "She was looking through the windows," Susan said. She had a measuring tape and what looked like curtains. Turns out, Barbara drove in from her house 2 hours away without telling us. She came while we were at work. She had a box with baby boy bedding and blue curtains. She broke into our shed to grab a step stool and was trying to measure our nursery windows. When we got home, she was gone. But the box was sitting in our nursery with a note, "I know you'll change your mind. This will look better than all that pink." Mike lost it. I'd never seen him yell like that on the phone before. He told her she crossed a huge line and that she had no right to enter our home uninvited. She didn't apologize. She just said, "You'll thank me when he's born." He hung up and looked at me. She's losing it. That weekend, we changed every lock on the house. We installed cameras too. Mike wanted to go no contact completely, but I wasn't ready yet. I still hoped she'd calm down. She didn't. She started sending messages to my mom, asking her to talk some sense into us. She even called Mike's school and tried to leave a message with the front office, saying it was urgent family business. My mom hosted a baby shower for me a few weeks later. Barbara was invited, only because I thought maybe seeing everything in person would help her accept it. I was wrong. She showed up wearing a shirt that said, "It's a boy. Grandma says so." She brought a giant diaper cake decorated with little plastic footballs and blue ribbons. She barely spoke to anyone. Just sat in the corner with this sour face, glaring at all the pink decorations. At one point, she pulled Mike aside and whispered, "You still have time to change the name. Think about something stronger. Like Derek." We were planning to name our daughter Eliana. Mike told her she needed to leave. She did, slamming the door behind her. She sent a group text to all our family. It said, "Just so everyone knows, Sarah and Mike are in complete denial. When my grandson is born, I'll be ready. If they won't accept him, I will." People were confused. Some thought she was joking. Others didn't. It started a chain of uncomfortable conversations. My aunt texted me privately, "Is everything okay? Does she really believe it's a boy?" I didn't even know what to say anymore. And then something even worse happened. So yeah, we thought we'd seen it all after that insane group text. But no, that was just Barbara warming up. What she did next, it shook both of us to our core. About 2 weeks later, we got a call from a clinic. They said they were returning a message from Barbara H. about our prenatal records. I was confused. "Wait, what? I never called you." The nurse on the phone paused. "Well, someone did. They used your full name and said they were calling on your behalf." Turns out, Barbara had called pretending to be me and tried to request a copy of my ultrasound and medical records. Thankfully, HIPAA laws prevented them from giving her anything. But still, she impersonated me to a medical clinic. That night, Mike looked at me and said, "I'm done playing nice. She's out of our lives." We consulted a lawyer and had a cease and desist letter sent to her. It basically said, "No more uninvited visits, no pretending to be us, no interfering with our pregnancy. If she did, we'd consider a restraining order." Barbara didn't respond. Not a call, not a text, not a word. For a week, we actually thought she got the message. But then we noticed something strange. I was scrolling through Facebook when one of Mike's cousins posted a link to a registry. "So excited for the little guy," it said. Wait, little guy? I clicked the link, and my heart dropped. It was a baby registry on a big name site. Created by Barbara H. Listed under my name and Mike's. But the registry was for a baby boy. Football-themed nursery items. A blue car seat. Clothes labeled Daddy's Champ. Dozens of items. She had made a fake registry pretending to be us, telling everyone we were having a boy and letting them buy stuff to send to her house. I was livid. I called the company and reported it immediately. They shut it down and flagged her account. A week before my due date, we got a knock on the door. I was home alone while Mike ran errands. It was a delivery guy with a big box. I signed for it and brought it inside. When I opened it, my hands literally started shaking. Inside was a homemade baby blanket. Blue, of course. Embroidered into the fabric were the words, "Welcome, Derek. Grandma's little man." I felt sick. There was also a handwritten note, "I'll be at the hospital to meet him." I don't care what anyone says. I know what's right. I called Mike, and he rushed home. We packed an emergency hospital bag that night just in case. But we also gave the hospital staff strict instructions that Barbara was not allowed to visit. They flagged her name in the system. The night I went into labor, everything was chaos. But Mike never left my side. When I finally gave birth to Eliana, a healthy, perfect little girl, I cried with joy. Then the nurse walked in, nervous. There's a woman downstairs. She says she's your mother-in-law. She's insisting she be allowed in." Mike went pale. "No, absolutely not. We already gave your team instructions. The nurse nodded. We told her that. But she's still in the lobby. Mike went down there himself. I don't know what happened in that conversation. All I know is he came back with red eyes, clenched fists, and said, "She won't be coming back." 2 days after we got home from the hospital, a letter came in the mail. It wasn't from Barbara. It was from her lawyer. She was filing for grandparent visitation rights. Yes, she was trying to use the court to get access to our baby daughter, who she still insisted was a boy named Derek. We were floored. Barbara filed for grandparent visitation rights. If you're not familiar with that, some states allow grandparents to request court-ordered time with grandkids under certain conditions. Texas doesn't make it easy, thankfully, but it was still terrifying. She told the court she was being denied access to her grandson, claimed I was mentally unstable, and that Mike was manipulated into thinking the baby was a girl. Yes, she brought up the gender again. We had to hire a lawyer. We were exhausted. I was recovering from birth. Mike was missing work. Eliana cried all night. And now this. Our lawyer thought it was a long shot for her, but we had to take it seriously. She was obsessed enough to lie to a judge. Who knew what else she'd do? We showed up to court early, dressed respectfully, calm, exhausted, scared. Barbara came in with a full binder of evidence, pictures of boy clothes, screenshots of old texts where Mike mentioned maybe wanting a son one day, even printouts from a baby name website. She looked calm, smug even. Her lawyer spoke first, tried to paint her as a loving grandmother being shut out of her grandchild's life. She nodded along the whole time, fake tears in her eyes. Then it was our turn. Mike stood up, spoke directly to the judge. He told the truth. Every word of it. From the baby shower shirt to the fake registry to the attempted break-in and fake medical call. He said she was not just overbearing, she was delusional. Then our lawyer handed the judge a photo of Eliana, our beautiful daughter, wrapped in a soft pink blanket, fast asleep. There was a long silence. Then the judge asked, "Why do you insist this child is a boy, Ms. H?" Barbara stood up, defiant. "Because I know what I felt. I dreamed it. I saw it. They are wrong. You'll all see." The courtroom went quiet. The judge blinked. "This case is dismissed." Immediate no-contact order issued. She tried showing up at our house again a week later, standing in the street, holding a blue teddy bear. She didn't ring the bell. Just stood there, staring at the house. For over an hour. We called the cops. They made her leave. That was the last time we saw her. About 2 months later, we got a call from Mike's cousin, Dana. "You need to see this," she said. She sent us screenshots of a GoFundMe page, started by Barbara. The title? "Help me reunite with my stolen grandson." The page told a fake story. Said I was abusive. That we faked the gender to keep her out of the baby's life. That she was raising money for a legal fight to save him. She raised $2,000 from strangers. We reported the page. It was taken down. But the damage was done. She had gone fully public with her delusion. And even worse, some people believed her. We felt humiliated, angry, violated. So we fought back. We took everything. The screenshots, the fake registry, the court dismissal, the police reports, the GoFundMe page. And we wrote a letter. But not just to her. We sent it to every person who had donated to that fundraiser. Every person she lied to, with proof. We exposed the entire thing. We didn't just stop there. Mike recorded a video. Calm, firm, factual. Explained the real story. Introduced Eliana. Explained how deep the delusion went. We shared it privately with friends and family and let them pass it along. Her name? Ruined. The donations? Refunded. Her supporters? Gone. She called Mike one last time, crying, begging to talk. Said she was misunderstood. That she only wanted what was best. Mike blocked her. Eliana is 1 year old today. We still get the occasional anonymous card or email. Always unsigned. Always something blue. We don't respond. We're stronger now. Closer. Tired, but safe. Looking back, there were things we could have done differently. Maybe we should have cut contact sooner. Maybe I should have been more firm early on. I thought I was being kind. Turns out, sometimes kindness feeds obsession. Barbara made her choice. She believed in a fantasy so hard, she lost her real family over it. All for a boy who never existed. Sarah,